Hello everybody, this is EMDSE 14R. This is a custom locomotives project update. I know it's been, I don't even know how long it's been since I did a custom project update, but I was busy today tinkering around, getting projects that were gnawing at me more or less correct the way I want them to be, and these are just a few of them that I've been working on. If you guys have not seen the F24C, I highly recommend looking at my old video of it. Basically, the F24C is based off of the Australian A and B class 6-axle F units. Well, they're not, you know, they're 6-axle units, but they have the F unit body. And this is basically the American version. Just like the Australian version, they ride on 6-axle trucks that are all powered. The US version is basically the F unit version of the SD24, but it's non-turbocharged. I do have drawings and designs for the turbocharged version using the 567 Model D, and then turbocharged versions using the 645 prime movers. But these are the prototypes. In the previous videos, you guys could see that there was 4 porthole windows here, but the front 2 on each side were lower than the ones here. So basically, this was actually a B unit and this was an A unit, and I just spliced the 2 together. You guys will see that in the original video. If you just type in F24C on my channel, I'll explain that to you. I made that I think about 3, maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, I think 5 years ago I made this. Yeah, 5 years ago I made this unit. So I was, yep, 5 years ago. So anyway, I got fed up with that because I filled in the portholes with body putty, and I backed it with styrene to, you know, to fill that in. But I just got so fed up with it. It's been gnawing at me, and I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna do away with that, cut all that out, and just fill it in with styrene. So that's basically what I did. I filled in both sides with block styrene. If the stupid autofocus would work, you guys could see that. But yeah, I basically took the portholes out and filled them in with block styrene. I did it in such a way that before I glued them in, I made sure that they were completely even with the rest of the body, or shell I should say, and then I glued them in there permanently. And the glue just fills in wherever the gaps are or whatever. So that was the major project that I did on this unit, because that was just annoying me like crazy, because I would play with this unit and I just kept seeing that body putty in there, and it didn't really work for me, so I just decided to do away with it. But the 3 portholes on the back or on the rest of the unit will remain. And the unique feature about the F24C is that the prime mover sits back there. So you have empty space here possibly, and this one is HEP equipped. So yeah, this is a custom one by me from Wells Locomotive Works. So yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with that, that's the unit. It rides on an Atlas SD24 chassis, and it has the speaker housing in there and everything. It will get sound eventually. And then this is my custom project. It's my IHC, my IHC NJT E9 number 4245. Yeah, you guys probably seen this engine before. It was in a video about, I think, last year when I was rushing to try to get 1,000 videos before Christmas, which I made it, thank God. It rides on a custom modified chassis. It's an FP45 chassis, or I think it's an FP45 chassis by Proto Power West. They modified it to accept this shell. You do actually have to add bracing in the shell to actually have it sit properly on the chassis, which I had to do, and that was a little bit of a pain. Just a brief history on the NJT E unit roster. They never actually had an E unit with this number. For some reason they skipped over that number. I don't know why, but since I have a model that has a what if number, I decided to do a what if NJT E unit. So the story behind this one is this is the only E unit that was ever used out of Hoboken Terminal. So yeah, if you watch the previous videos I mentioned that, but this is basically the Hoboken E E unit, which is, you know, its nickname. Everybody knows it because it's the only E unit that ever goes to Hoboken Terminal. Not sure if the other ones went to Hoboken, but that's my story for this one. I added the S5 I think that's a S5 RT. Yeah, I think that's a S5 RT horn to it. And today, it finally gets HEP exhaust. Yay! So, yeah, this was a little bit of a challenge to do. But I've done HEP exhaust before. I've done them on several units. All my rebuilt F units have HEP, so you will see them with the exhaust fan, the exhaust and the exhaust fan, or the fan or whatever. But this one, since it's a fantasy unit, I kind of didn't want to do it like this one, because most of the HEP equipped units have the fan and then the two exhaust stacks here. But I wanted to do this one differently because I was looking at the Metro North F10s, and I was looking at the Metra F7s that were former Chicago Northwestern units, and how they had their exhausts set up. They don't actually have an HEP fan at the rear. The Chicago Northwestern units, they're basically their exhausts basically take these, you turn them parallel to the hood or parallel to the top of the unit, and the exhaust is facing this way. The Metro North units, the F10s, their exhaust faces like this. So I went with the Metro North way just because I thought it was unique, and since it's a unique unit, I wanted to do that. But that's just copper piping. I drilled out the holes and glued it in there. So that took some time, but thank God it's finally done. This unit is one step closer to being finished. I don't think I have any more details to add to it, except I'm going to add an American limited diaphragm to this unit, and the next unit I'm going to talk about. It's going to get a detailed west. Oh, I forgot to mention, I redid the rear on the F24C because I didn't like that brass headlight there. The holes for the lights were too big anyway, didn't look prototypical, so I just redid the whole back. So it's going to get details west pile headlights here, or tail lights I should say, and they will be functional. But yeah, so I forgot to mention that. But yeah, with the NJT unit, I'm just going to add the American limited diaphragm to this one and to that one. And since it's a fantasy, I like E units with these Southern Pacific style plows or Western Pacific style plows, so I had to put a plow on this one. So this one has a plow, and this one has a plow. So I like F units with plows. And then this was going to be my F11B unit, but I turned it into an F11 slug. And this is based off of the Chicago and Northwestern F7Bs, which they basically they took all the radiator fans off, or took all the fans off, and they just plated over the entire roof. Some of them, I think, had the fuel tanks removed. This one actually has HEP. Now you guys are probably the ones that those of you who know about this unit and have seen it in the older videos. It had this really small, dinky fan at the back here, and I just got so sick and tired of it because it looked just so cheesy as how high it sat up on the roof. So I had another Protopower West shell fan laying around, and I just super glued it to the roof. I centered it and everything. It covers the hole that the other fan was, that I had to drill out for the other fan. But it looks a lot better. It looks a lot better than that previous fan, because the previous fan was sitting up to like here, and that's not cool. I didn't think that was cool. And then finally, last but not least, I didn't do anything on this unit, but I just thought I'd give you guys a future reference on this. This is my custom-made SD40PX-2. If you guys are not familiar with it, it's basically a prototype SD40 that got the prototype version of the 710 prime mover before the actual 710 prime mover was actually made, and they actually added extra length to the unit to actually aid in cooling and so forth. It's just a fantasy locomotive that I decided to make. It's still not powered, but it will be getting powered this year. Not sure about painting and detailing. That'll come when it comes. But the thing I was thinking about doing with this unit is redoing the entire rear here, because I really don't like how the lights look. I mean, the light the holes for the headlights are a little bit too big. They don't look prototypical. I mean, when I made this unit about 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, was it 2? Yeah, 2 years ago, I liked it because of what it was, but the more I look at it, and it's like, yeah, I kind of don't like the way the radiator grills here look. I kind of don't like that. I was kind of going for like a semi-flared look, but that, I don't know. So I'm probably going to do that over again. If I don't do this rear over again, I will definitely do the sides again, because that's just me. Usually when I make projects, I like them the first time around and I don't go back and change them, but yeah, if it dawns on me after a while that I have to relook at something, and I look at it, I say, at the time I did it, I liked it, but the holes for the headlights are way too big, or that just sits too high on the roof. If I don't like it, if I look at it again, I'm like, what, maybe I'll try a different approach and redesign it. So I'm probably going to redo this over again. Plus, this extended bulge here is from a Athearn Blue Box Jeep 9, the ones that have like the really, really wide body shells to accommodate the older motors, but they never changed the bodies on them because, I don't know, they just didn't, even when they upgraded the motor. But anyway, I used that part, and I used some other headlight details from that. So I'm probably going to change that just because of the way that looks. I mean, other than that, the unit looks good, but I just want it to look, I want it to look right, because I'm getting ready, I'm gearing myself to get all my custom projects painted, and it's been a long time coming. But yeah, I've been tackling this stuff little by little, but I can honestly say these are one step closer to being done. The only thing I need to get for this unit is the cooling coils. But I think what I might do is I might just do away with the cooling coils. I know F units have cooling coils because they had them, but maybe what I could do is I could put the cooling coils inside the unit. I don't know if that's ever been done. I don't know if that's even possible, or even if that's prototypically correct, but it would save me a lot of trouble of actually having to buy that part. Because if you look at the Jeep 9s, they don't have cooling coils on the roof. So we could say that it has components of a Jeep 9. We could say that. But I could say that because it's my unit. I can say whatever I want. It's a custom unit that could have been built in reality. It could have been built. But we'll work on that. I'll work on that. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this mini project update. Oh, I forgot to even say the date. It's the 7th of September 2015. So this is what I've been working on, and I finally got it done. That wasn't too hard to do. It was a little bit tricky, but thank God for jeweler files, because if I didn't have jeweler files, I would have been up the creek without a paddle. And actually, that's probably the reason why I didn't tackle it, because I didn't have them at the time. But now that I have them, I said I might as well get them done. And then I had to add the steps here and here. That's pretty much it for that unit. As far as the body is concerned. But yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you have any questions, just send me a comment or an email, or not an email, but like a personal message. Alright, later guys.